Definitely one of the most talented riders I've ever seen ride Supercross. Chad Reed, poised to possibly capture a championship. The skill he exudes on the track is just second to none right now, and just amazing. And I don't think the championship can happen here tonight because Windham has to finish too far down, but should be an exciting race.
As we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid, it's Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Michael Byrne, Heath Voss, David Villeman, Mike LaRocco, and a lot of Johnsons up there as well. This should be an interesting one, as Cameron alluded to. If Chad Reed gets first and Kevin Windham finishes 9th or lower, Chad Reed is your 250 champ. But again, Kevin Windham is too strong. His lap times in practice too fast. But stranger things have happened as the 30 board goes sideways. It's the 250 main event from Texas Stadium. Mike LaRocco on the inside has a great line. Chad Reed right there with Kevin Windham next to him. Reed's forced to the inside of the split section. Windham to the outside. Look at Windham's drive through there. Here comes Chad Reed. Gets hung up just a little bit. Kevin Windham will get the Butterfinger hole shot, and he will lead them into the green flag lap with Chad Reed right behind him.
And Chad, an uncharacteristic small bobble in the whoops there. It looked like they were going to come out dead even in that corner, in that second corner, but Kevin with the advantage. We'll watch right here, see which way they go. Remember, there's multiple options. Looks like they're going to go the same way. Triple again. Oh, and Chad clipping the edge of that, not able to get that triple, so giving Kevin Windham a little breathing room.
One thing about Chad Reed, he's extremely patient. He knows exactly what he can do. And right now, he's in his comfort zone. Kevin Windham is your leader, number 14 on the Honda. Chad Reed on the Yamaha, number 22. As we look at the Butterfinger replay one more time, as the green flag comes out, the battle is on. Here it is one more time. Kevin Windham right to the front, Cameron.
He had the jump in the center, and he had a great body positioning over that little stutter bump. Not that Chad didn't, but Kevin just getting the drive. Remember, he's riding a 450 four-stroke. Chad's riding a 250, so a little bit bigger motorcycle as well.
Back to racing action. Your leader still Kevin Windham, number 14 out of Mississippi. Chad Reed, the Australian, now living in Florida, number 22 on board the Yamaha. As we talked about at the top of the show, Cameron, the fishing is on for the services of Chad Reed and Bubba Stewart.
Well, that's something that's got to weigh on his mind. I mean, regardless of what he says, and probably back at Yamaha, maybe somewhere else, but everybody's talking about it, including us. It's got to drive you crazy, but right now, it doesn't seem like it's affecting. He's pulling up on the wheel of Windham. Got to watch and see where he's faster, but he's definitely up on the tail. He can go for an inside move, but Chad's a smart customer. He won't force it if he doesn't have to.
No question about that. It's a long race. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon in the world of Supercross. Kevin Windham, your leader, Chad Reed right behind him, and this is what America's wanted to see all year long. Look at the drive of Reed.
And Chad getting the inside line. Wasn't one of his best runs through the whoops, but very solid getting the run, and then inside takes the line away from Windham.
And you hit it dead on the head, Cameron. He didn't get the line, he took the line. The AMA has done a great job this year. I give him all the credit in the world, but Chad Reed makes a clean pass, and that is some fine racing right there. Again, he'll go for the triple this time, clears it, as does Kevin Windham. So it's 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. And if it stays like this, Reed will not get the title this week. He'll have to wait for Salt Lake City. And Kevin Windham told our Jamie Little earlier that he felt tonight was his night. Here's the pass.
Watch the drive. You see Chad get the wheel up, you get going. He gets a little bit out of shape to the side, but drives up the inside, and Windham knows he's there. Still tries to come back down on the line, but Chad isn't having any of it. Great, clean racing from these two guys. And back in this whoop section, Windham going to the inside this time.
Kevin Windham, uncharacteristically, cannot pull within Chad Reed on that whoop section, an area that usually has no problem blitzing. He looked very good in practice yesterday and today. Meanwhile, Chad Reed continues to lead. This is the 250 main event. Reed, number 22, on board the Yamaha. Kevin Windham, number 14, on board the Honda. And you can see that. Go get some.
Get some from Jonathan Hyland, his mechanic. We call him Doc Awesome also. They give him a hard time, but he's a great mechanic. And right now, Windham needs to find somewhere to catch up on Reedy.
And we just got word that Ryan Clark is out of the race, so that doesn't do us well with helmet cam services. But we've got a great battle right now for 1 and 2. Dropping back to third is David Villeman and Mike LaRocco having their own little battle. But this is the battle we're watching. Windham and Reed. Reed in front, Windham in second. Here's where Kevin Windham has to use all his experience, Cameron, to find some position. Use that thumb for four-stroke to pull up from Chad Reed.
Well, one thing a few of us were talking about is that, you know, this track looked like it was going to be very, very slippery. You can see the guys sliding around, especially in this next left-hand corner when they come to it. We're going to go back, though, and take a look at Villemin. But Chad Reed is a choppy throttle guy, on, off real hard. Windham's more of a throttle delivery. You know, he kind of rolls it on, so people thought it might fit his form better. Not working out that way. Mike LaRocco, Villemin.
Yeah, this is a classic battle. David Villemin sitting in third, number 12 on board the Yamaha. Mike LaRocco, number 5, on board that all-familiar Honda. Mike LaRocco having one of his best seasons, picking up that victory in Indianapolis in front of the home crowd. And right now, he is trying to find a way around the Cobra. David Villemin out of France, now living in the States on board the Yamaha. David Villemin's favorite time of the year, Supercross and the NBA playoffs coincide. Rounds out his week, but Mike LaRocco, the Indiana native, trying to do like the Pacers and absolutely dominate the field.
Look at you go. I like it. Villemin's on a tear right now.
He's on a tear, and one of his favorite players, Tony Parker, for the San Antonio Spurs, also a former Frenchman. David told me, send out a little love to Tony Parker. I want to hook up with the guy. But Villemin right now sits in third. He has gained 2.39 seconds on that last lap. Mike LaRocco staying right with him. Your leader, Chad Reed, and he is starting to open up a little bit more of a breathing room gap on Kevin Windham. We've got much more 250 Main from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. As Chad Reed's mechanic looks on, your running order, Reed, Windham, Villemin, and LaRocco. Back to Texas Stadium. We are in Irving. Your leader, Chad Reed, the 250 main event. He is on lap number 9. Did not get the whole shot. That honor went to Kevin Windham, but it was shortly thereafter that Chad Reed used all his style, speed, whatever you want. The guy shows patience, and he's out in front. His last lap time of 57.864. Kevin Windham closing the lap just a little bit. His last lap time was a 57.72.
So Windham definitely not giving up, and that's key. Any kind of little mistake from Reed, anything can happen in Supercross.
Well, we talked a lot about the dirt today and how important the tires were. The track watered down heavily last night. The sun was out. If you haven't been to Texas Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, there's a big hole in this roof. Damon Huffman holding up his hand saying, sorry, didn't mean to hold you up. He's now a lap rider. But the dirt got baked in the middle of the track, and that section they just went through has become very slippery, Cameron. So I know the tire doctors were out there checking it right before the main event, finding out the best tire, the best composite to hook up for these guys. So as we look at Kevin Windham in second, let's go back to the battle for third. That's number 12, David Villemin. Number 5 is Mike LaRocco. LaRocco on the red Honda. Number 5, Villemin on the Yamaha. Number 12 just coming into your view.
And I was just kind of watching right there, a couple different lines from those guys, and it almost looked like Villemin wasn't really attacking in that corner, and Mike LaRocco's pulled right up on him. I'm not sure if something's going on here, or if you see Villemin looking over his shoulder as well, so.
Well, a lot of people, the rap on David Villemin has been fitness possibly starting to slow down in the latter parts of the races, and Mike LaRocco is certainly taking advantage of that. Take nothing away from David Villemin. His first 11 laps were blistering fast. But right now, that section right there, that work section, has really taken its toll on a lot of riders.
And then Heath Boss coming into your picture right now, running 5th, but he's definitely in a great position because Huffman's sitting in 16th place. He's taking over the lead in this World Supercross points chase. And not only that, he's got some riders that are going to get in between him and Huffman, including Tyler Evans, who's currently sitting in 3rd at this point.
2 months ago, you wouldn't believe this would happen. Heath Boss was not running. Tyler Evans was up there, Grant Langston. He has patiently worked his way up. Meanwhile, as Heath Boss sits in 5th place with the last lap time, Mike Byrne, who had a great run, a great start running in the top 10. This is the problems of Michael Byrne in that same whoop section, Cameron. Look at the center of the screen.
Doubling in, attacking. See him get a little squirrely, and then the wheel starts dropping in. Byrne taking a digger, and he's been suffering from the flu. Couldn't shake in 3 weeks. Said he's feeling better, but still not 100%. Maybe just as time ticks down and flu has been in your body, just running out of energy.
With 7 laps to go, Tyler Evans, folks, number 58, is a great rider, and Chad Reed's just about to lap him. He is passing all the way up to 10th place. With 7 laps to go, Chad Reed continues to dominate. Just when we think there may be a battle, Chad Reed is doing exactly what he has to do as he goes through a tear-off. Scott, all the people there at Yamaha have been there for him. Thor and Chad Reed has been nothing but spectacular this year.
Oh, and Wyndham having to check a little bit on Evans, coming inside a little bit. No, Wyndham gets a little bit squirrely.
But he has closed the gap between himself and Chad Reed, and Chad takes a look over his shoulder on that last triple. I don't know if he hears the thumper coming or what. With that, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Kevin Wyndham has definitely turned up the gas. You guys, there were about 4 lappers in between the 2 riders. Now Kevin Wyndham, he sees his opportunity, and he's all over Chad Reed.
Well, good point, Jamie, because Chad Reed has 2 lappers in front of him in the form of number 34 and number 36, and that's Sean Hamlin. And this is really impeding his progress. The flag is out to let him through, but I don't think Hamlin saw it. So he's really going to have to slow down, and here comes Kevin Wyndham.
Unbelievable lappers making an opening for Wyndham, but he was on the charge. We'll see if he can get up there on Reed. Now Reed's going to have some clear racetrack ahead of him.
Well, that's not Team Red riding rules because those other 2 riders on a Suzuki. Styles was in there, Sean Hamlin was in there, and here comes Wyndham. So you usually don't get a second chance at Chad Reed, but Kevin Wyndham has lived another day. Look at this. He's back up in the running 4 laps ago. This was unheard of, and here he is. So Chad Reed, I don't think he's off the gas. I think he's just encountering some untimely lap riders. Oh. Jonathan Hyland, this is a family show, young man. Disney owns us.
Well, one thing, going through the section, and Wyndham having a problem clipping there, coming up short. The track is difficult. It gets slippery in some spots, depending on where you've tired for. There's hard, flue groove, slippery areas, and then there's some gooey areas, so you got to pick your battles and where you're going to throw them at.
With 5 laps to go, we've got a whole new battle on our hands. Kevin Wyndham has re-emerged as a contender in the main event with Mike LaRocco now moving up to 3rd. Make sure you come back to Texas Stadium for the conclusion. This is going to be a good one, the 250 main. An event that started in 1998 is fast approaching its 7th year as the sport's annual kickoff showcase. The Maxxis U.S. Open, October 8th to the 10th, will feature Supercross's biggest stars on their new factory rides for the first time ever. Can defending champion Chad Reed hold off Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, and the rest of the field? It's only a few short months away before the bikes invade the MGM Grand Garden Arena, October 8th to the 10th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Back to Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas, with just 4 laps to go. Your leader continues to be number 22, Chad Reed. But Kevin Wyndham has got back into the game. He now sits just over a second behind Reed. And Cameron, are you surprised the 4-stroke hasn't been more effective tonight? He did get the whole shot, but he has been unable to sustain, especially on the long straightaways.
I thought with how slippery some of these corners were that he'd have a little bit more of an advantage. I mean, it's not just a bike. These guys are just unbelievable riders, but we did think he was going to hook up maybe a little bit more than Chad. And right there, he just lapped Ezra Lusk. What place is Ezra? 6th place.
Unbelievable. Chad Reed, number 22, has been all that has been billed. This young man is truly a phenomenal find for Yamaha, for the United States, for Supercross and whole. He has brought it to a whole new level, and I cannot wait, and I re-emphasize that for next year when he's on the line with a Ricky Carmichael, with a Kevin Wyndham, with a James Bubba Stewart, with a Travis Pastrana. It will be one of the best games ever when we get to Anaheim 1 in 2005.
We'll actually probably see that get at the U.S. Open in October.
Very true, my friend. Las Vegas and the Maxxis U.S. Open, October 8th to the 10th. But I'll tell you, for the folks at the AMA who've done a great job this year, they are going to have their hands full next year because there are going to be a lot of egos and a lot of speed on that line. And they're going to have to really give a little bit because the racing is going to be epic.
Well, we talked about Chad maybe clinching the title tonight. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, Wyndham's right there, but sets himself up for a title in Salt Lake City, so maybe he can relax just a little bit when he gets to Las Vegas. But I'll tell you one thing, I know Chad Reed, he's going to want to win all these races, and Kevin Wyndham's not going to want to let him, so don't think they're going to relax too much. These guys are going to be banging.
With 2 laps to go, your leader continues to be number 22, Chad Reed. He has increased the interval just like we knew he would, like clockwork. Put a little pressure on him. 22 grabs some more throttle. The interval between him and second place Kevin Wyndham is now up to 4.7 seconds. And I can't take anything away from Kevin Windham. The bike looks good. He looks good. Chad Reed is just so quick on his exit speed. As I tell my kids, he lands perfectly on the downward sides of doubles and triples and never scrubs the speed, so he's always picking up fractions of time.
Always on the throttle, too. It's amazing back there in that one section. I'll point it out when they get to it. They're doing like a triple. It's like 45 feet long off a 2-foot tall takeoff, but the key part is he's got about 6 feet coming out of the corner. And was that a lap? Did he just lap
he just lapped fifth. Heath Voss is a phenomenal rider, and Chad Reed has just lapped him in 19 laps. We are on the final lap, the 250 main from Irving, Texas. And folks, I'll tell you what, if you want a clinic video on how to ride Supercross, just tape the show and show your students, because Chad Reed has done just that.
Shocking. He's just so good, isn't he?
He's going by his cousin now. Can it get any better for the Australian Chad Reed, going past his cousin, number 30, Craig Anderson? And Chad Reed has just been phenomenal this year. Believe all the hype of this young man. He is certainly for real, and I think he knows it. The Supercross world knows it, and the folks at Yamaha definitely know it, as do the rest of the industry riders, and he will be a great find for anyone who can sign up for next year. Your winner of the 250 main, Chad Reed. Joy all around for Team Blue and Yamaha. He did not clinch the title, but he certainly sent a message. Kevin Windham can run with him all he wants, but when it comes down to the checkers, it's Chad Reed. Kevin Windham, what else can I do? Chad Reed is just on his game. Dallas has been very, very good today, young man. His last lap time, 1:09.38, but his fastest lap time is 56 seconds. He does what he has to do, and when we come back to Dallas, we'll talk to your...
Suzuki Summer Sizzler is here with a...
Welcome back to Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. But tonight, Chad Reed is the man of the house as we take a look at our Honda 250 main event results. Reed, your winner, followed by Kevin Windham, Mike LaRocco, David Billaman, and Heath Voss with a tremendous finish in fifth. Ezra Lusk goes sixth. Tyler Evans rounding out the top 10 with Sean Hamlin checking in at 8th. There's Keith Johnson, Michael Byrne in 12th. Craig Anderson down to 15th. Kyle Lewis, Lucky's in there at 16th. Clark Stiles, Joe Aloff, and Ryan Clark in 20th. Right now, let's send it down to the podium and Jamie Little.
This is two of our favorite faces to see on the podium every week, and Mike LaRocco, hard charger, up here again. I think this is your 9th podium of the year. Mike, David Billaman, he was on a rampage there for a while until you came along. Tell me about your path.
Well, actually, he got by me early. I got a good start again, you know, imagine that. So I was stoked about that, but just didn't really get the groove on. And, you know, he got around me, and I just tried to, you know, dive in behind him and follow his lines. And then, you know, eventually I caught on to him and added something to it and went back by him.
All right, K-Dub, you kept this entire stadium on their feet the whole night. Oh, my gosh, you kind of faded. You were there. You were back. What happened at the end, though? Was it you? Were you fading, or was it Chad just pulling away?
Well, in the main event there, we were running 56s, and in the heats we were doing 57. So I wasn't quite ready to run that pace, but I just said, you know, I got to, and I gave it all I could. I ran it for as long as I could. It felt really good to make a run back at him, you know, a little bit over halfway through the race, and everything went good. You know, Chad just kind of was able to step it up for the main, and I did as well, but just was a little bit outside of my comfort zone. So it was a good ride. You know, just keep plugging along, just try to do the best I can at these last couple races, and try to keep getting this Honda factory finish at 450 up on the podium.
Well done, Kevin Windham, and it all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada. Get your tickets now. The official destination of Supercross, as we take a look at the series point standings as Texas Stadium continues to empty out. I'll tell you what, Chad Reed has looked good all year long, and that is the reason why he is atop the podium. Also on the World Supercross GP, Heath Voss doing wonders. 3 months ago, no chance we thought he'd be up there, and look at him now. Unbelievable. Well, speaking of champions, let's send it back down to Jamie Little with Chad Reed.
All right, 10 times in victory circle for Chad Reed. It's when we see a big smile on this guy's face. Chad, tell me about that rhythm section going into the triple. You were phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I struggled with it all day yesterday and all this morning. So, you know, it seemed like I turned that around for me and was definitely an advantage. You know, I knew that I had to do it as much as possible, whether there was somebody in front of me or not. And, you know, just real thankful for the guys at Bridgestone for giving me great tires to get the traction, and all the guys at Yamaha and Thor Parts Unlimited, Scott. You know, my trainer, Jeff Spencer, it was hot and humid here, and, you know, what you need to do is go 20 laps, and that's what won the race tonight.
All right, you guys, we have 2 more races to go. The championship's not wrapped up yet.